Jenna's edit was creme de creme. Like, it was so fucking good. That whole arc was absolute cinema. I'm proud of that arc. It was I don't know. That arc was right after TwitchCon last year, chat. And never even thought of it. Like, I just got home and I'm like, what now? Right? I was just kind of like, what now? So, and I just kind of saw, like, I don't know, just sitting there, kind of like, this is the state of the clowns right now. This is the state of the server right now. Ray's gone. It needs to mean something and not just mean nothing. So I pulled that whole thing out of my ass, and it worked. And it worked. It was really fun. That arc was really fun to do. It was cool. But how do you top shit like that? I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can top that myself. It's only so much you can do with one character, right? Like, there's still more we can do, but how do you make it feel so unique and fresh, right? But did you guys see my tweet the other night about an RP idea that just popped in my head? Let me give you one little detail about that, okay? This idea is not going to be seen. Okay, a part of it will be seen on this stream, okay? But the main idea of it, so it's basically how I want to transition from 4.0 to 5.0. That's a tough thing to do, is to transfer from a new wipe, right? And what I'm assuming 5.0 is going to be, it needs to be something big. So Ray said she's coming back in 5.0. And hopefully it happens, because if it doesn't happen, then my plan's going to be a little fucked. But I'm going to do it anyway and just hope it happens. You are going to see it, but you're not going to see it. Half of it you'll see at the end of 4.0 with what I'm going to create and like have for the lore of what's happening. For the end, like Chatterbox's lore for the end of 4.0. But the other part of that I'm doing in 4.0 is going to happen offline. And you'll see it in 5.0 through Ray's POV. If my plan works, then you'll see something that Chatterbox did to carry lore over, because this is all I'll give you. Ray's not coming back in 4.0. Okay? Raybond is not going to wake up again in 4.0. It's pretty clear that it's probably not going to happen, right? So, text messages aren't going to get seen. All the progress, everything that's happened since she left, the build up and whatever. Raymond, the character, will never see that, right? So Chatterbox wants to do something to show that. But the odds of her character seeing it is not very high, because there's a specific way I want it to happen that makes sense. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm taking a gamble here. I'm taking a gamble. I'm going to try to take a gamble on something just to see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Imagine time capsule with lore. Okay. It wouldn't be that, but that is a cool idea. With my assumption of what's happening, chat, what's gonna happen, my idea is necessary. I think I really need to do it, so we'll see. It's something I have to do offline, and then I gotta take the steps offline to create something that's gonna be really cool and cinematic, right? There's a lot to do. Does that mean 4.0 is coming to an end soon? I don't know. Like, I want to say yes. I want to say yes, but I don't know. It's hard to say, okay? Now, I don't know if this plague, the sicknesses and the plague and whatever, all this weird RP they got. I shouldn't say weird. This cool RP that they got going on maybe is like the city's lore of kind of crumbling. But I could definitely be wrong on that idea, right? Like, it's just an assumption, right? I definitely could be wrong. The plague is from a mission? Okay, well, see, then I'm definitely wrong. I'm definitely wrong then. There's probably a lot of 4.0 left, chat. It's just been stretched out? Okay. Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense. The devs are involved in this plague stuff, right? Yeah, the devs made, like, as Rev said, the devs, like, it's a mission, right? So obviously the devs have their hands in that. And you kind of need the devs involved in that to actually kind of spread a plague, right? Because apparently there's an actual feature for it in the game, like you actually get sick or something. Which is pretty cool, chat. Like, I mean, it's pretty fucking cool. But Ziggy talked about it a bit. And it led to me to believe that it doesn't have anything to do with the end of the server. Okay. See, I didn't know any of that, right? Easy to assume, right? And obviously my assumption was wrong. Does it involve characters possibly perming or just getting sick? I think that's character choice. You know what I mean? I mean, a character can kind of roleplay that any way they want. Like, whether the plague mechanically kills them or not, right? Like, I'm sure. Dude, we all want it to be a lead to the end of 4.0. It'd be so cool. It would be. Now, I wonder, you know, NoPixel can't do the same thing they did before with, like, you know how, like, look, Sanguine. Sanguine was their right off to 3.0 ending to going to 4.0 and how Sanguine War affected everything and the economy and blah, 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 right? Like, so they gotta do something, right? They're gonna do something. It's just, what? Any possible Bobo lore in the future? Okay, I've thought about that. I was thinking about doing like a Bobo lore kind of arc, but I also thought that in 4.0, not a good idea. I think I'm gonna wait until 5.0 to try to cook something up in regards to that, to kind of help you guys understand and expand on Chatterbox's story more, and you guys can understand the past a little bit more. I have to create it. I have to cook something up. It's something I really need to put a lot of thought into, because once I do that, the lore is set, right? That lore is set, and there's no going back on that, because it's created, it's written, it's played out, it's there, right? And that's, you can't erase that, right? So I have to really think about how I'm going to go about it and what exactly the details are going to be. Like, there's many ways I can go about it, right? Because what you guys know about Bobo is very little, right? It's just basic things, right? Because all I've created thus far is basic things, and it's kind of just built it up slowly, right? But at some point, I need to open that door and have something to kind of tell that story. Chatterbox, go through something or do something to kind of tell that story, right? So I have to I gotta figure that out. That I have a hard time with stuff like that. I really gotta figure that shit out. Like the Jagger arc, it was idea, and I kind of planned it as I went with it, right? To make it what it was, right? I didn't really think about it too much because I just didn't know, right? But the Bobo thing, I have to think about it more. I gotta think about it more. I hope the Funhouse updates are there right away in 5.0. Remember, the Chatterbox head on the house took a few months to get added back. What do you mean a few months? What do you mean a few months? It took like over a year. Like well over a year. Didn't it? Started in December, and the head didn't come back till, or was it even a year? I don't even remember now. It was close to a year. It was like a year, close to or a year. Are you still working on the cinematic explaining Chatty's character arcs from 3.0 to 4.0? I was gonna do that. So my plan was to do that. But now... No, okay, I wasn't going to do a 3.0 to 4.0. I was going to do a 4.0 cinematic explaining the entire Shadow Cup story because I was like really proud of that. But now I'm thinking I'm not going to do that because the editors like the editors like Jenna and everybody else really like did crazy good job on that, and I don't see a point for me to do it. Yeah, so I'm thinking now in terms of a cinematic, I'm gonna do a cinematic instead for the end of 4.0 to help explain what's gonna happen. I have assumptions, chat. I have assumptions of what's happening, of what might happen here with the end of 4.0 and the transition to 5. So I'm gonna make a cinematic and just, like I said, it's another gamble. I'm going to have it done and ready, and if my theory is correct, then that cinematic is going to be played so you guys understand what's happening. And if it's incorrect, well, I have a cinematic to myself, and I'll just hold it and not show it to you guys until later. And then I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen. We'll know it's close, chat, when they announce like the date for 5.0. We'll know it's close then. But until then, expect it to be quite a while. Expect it to be quite a while. So, does Chatty still have plans for Ursula? Yeah. It's hard to execute these things when you're not really like she's not around as much these days, right? And when she is, she's majority of the time doing DOC stuff. So it's definitely tough to get the ball rolling on that.